Well, we're joined now by Tottenham legend Paul Gascoigne. Gaz, a very good morning to you. First, give us your reaction to the news that Pochettino is no longer Tottenham's manager and Jose Mourinho is.
Well, it was only, I think it was a matter of a time. I was at the England game the other week and I got wind of it, that he may be getting sacked, and I thought, that can't be true. And then Alan Myers rang us last night, and I think whatever he says, obviously he must have some good knowledge from a lot of stuff. So then I sort of believe it, and then this morning I put on the news and seen it, Obviously it's not nice anybody in football getting sacked. It really isn't. But, the way the Man City's put pressure on everybody, people are looking for the best, and who else, as far as I'm concerned, Jose Mourinho is an unbelievable manager. If I was a Tottenham player now and knowing Jose Mourinho was going to be my manager, I'd be more than happy.
So do you, Gaz, see this as a positive thing for Tottenham then, as we look to the future?
Well, if you ever look at what Jose Mourinho's won, Jesus, he's next. For me, Alex Ferguson was an unbelievable manager, one of the best ever in the world, and Jose Mourinho's not far from him, Obviously Bobby Robson, but Jose Mourinho, you can't get any better than him. I wouldn't have thought so.
No, he's
I seen. It's funny because I was at the Legends game in Tottenham and we all went to the training ground and Jose Mourinho was there, obviously. And I could see him having a look round, and when you look at something and go, wow, this is special. And obviously him being the special one and Tottenham's training ground being special, well, two of them two go together, don't they, really?
Yeah, and what do you think the reaction will be within that changing room, Gaza, to this news this morning? Do you think it'll take Jose Mourinho a little bit of time just to win that changing room round,
I
or
wouldn't
not?
have thought so.
No?
Definitely not. True. No way. It'd be a lot of sadness because obviously a lot of players were being close to Pochettino, and I feel sorry for him, but I suppose he'll probably go on holiday and have a little break and think what he wants to do next. But if I was a player, I would take every note what Jose Mourinho, see what he's won, it's unbelievable. You've seen him when he left Inter Milan, the players were crying because they're going to miss him. The players are warm to him. If they're not, well, the next step for them will be on the substitute bench. Yeah. He's definitely a manager I would play for, that's for sure.
And look, it's been the holy grail for Tottenham, hasn't it? Winning silverware. How long do you think Mourinho will take to get some silverware in that trophy cabinet at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Good prediction?
I think for a start you'd have players that you want to bring in, which would put the other players that are there now on the tours. That's for sure. When you get a new manager, you want to play your heart out for him because you want to be picked week in and week out, So, if you don't play well, then, I can see him bringing them players in, that's for sure. If you ever look at Man City, the reserve team could win the league, the Premiership. So, Jose Mourinho will be looking to strengthen his team just as strong as Man City's and Liverpool's. These teams now, if I was a supporter, I'd be over the moon having Jose in, and then obviously the first step, we want to see how the players he's got, how they play for him. It's I always tell people, it's a manager is only as good as the players you've got, and if you haven't got good players, then you're not a great manager, as people say. But for me, a manager is only as good as the players he's got, and if he's not happy with the players he's got, then obviously he will bring in players. And Tottenham Hotspur have got money. If you spend £1 billion on a training ground, wow.
Do you think he's the manager to persuade Daniel Levy to spend some more money? And also, Gaz, it's interesting to note that he talked in his statement about bringing through talent from the academy, something that Mourinho hasn't always done. He's always bought big, hasn't he? Do you think this will be a slightly differing approach, both from Levy in spending money and from Mourinho himself in bringing through young talent?
Yeah, well, hopefully, obviously I think Tottenham's academy is incredible, and like any other academy, there will be young kids coming through. How old they will be, I don't know. You don't get many 17-year-olds like Ronaldo. So, I'll be looking at that. And he won't want to miss about. He'll be wanting to win trophies. I think every club he's went to, he's won a trophy in the first year. And obviously, even my time in Tottenham, we didn't win anything. But the FA Cup final was special for me. It only lasted 12 minutes, never mind.
Yeah.
But, he'd be wanting to win things straight away. And the fans will expect that from Jose Mourinho. But he's okay. He can take pressure, him. that man can take pressure. And I spoke to him at Tottenham, and he had a smile on his face, especially at the training ground. So, you know, that's where you get results from the training ground first, and then you take whatever you've learned on the training ground onto the pitch. And they've got one hell of a training ground. So, you know, if I was Jose Mourinho, and I know that he's brought in great players from any club he's went to because players want to play for him. So I'd be trying my best on the football field to perform for him. And I'm sure any of the other players will be as well, you know.
Gazza, you know Tottenham as well as anyone. Do you think that once the dust settles on this, that the fans will think, well, we've got a bit of stardust here and perhaps the future is brighter than we might have imagined? Excitement, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. All I've got to look at Jose Mourinho's trophy cabinet. You know, that's all you've got to look at. You know, it's all right saying, I've done this and got that. The players have got to understand they haven't won anything. Jose Mourinho has as a manager, not as a player, as a manager. And what he's achieved as a management is second to none. You know, second to none. So, you know, I'll be looking, wow, if I play for this guy, I know I'm going to win trophies eventually. Whether it be next season or the season after, obviously not this season, it's too far beyond, you know. But for the future, Tottenham's future looks bright. And if I was a Tottenham supporter now, I'd be more than excited.
What is his biggest challenge, do you think?
Give me a job at Tottenham.
Gazza, would you go in as assistant? Would you go in as assistant, or would you want?
Oh yeah, within seconds.
Would you? Or have you got your eye on another? Yeah. Well,
yeah, definitely. No, I just wish him all the best, you know. But no doubt I'll be going to Tottenham games, Gary Rabbit, Levites, and whatever. And I'll definitely go along and see, especially next season, more than anything, you know. But yeah, I think that for me, honestly, I can put my hand in my heart and say Tottenham's future looks bright now. Nothing against Pochettino, maybe he just didn't have the money to spend, you know. But I'm sure a big club will come in for him because he's a great manager. He did well at Southampton, he did well at Tottenham. Just unfortunate, the money Man City spent on players, you know, you can't beat that. So you've got to challenge it and then obviously challenge them on the football, well, throughout the season, you know. But I think Jose will bring in players. But you don't know, he's that good of a manager, them players might perform for him.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the hope, isn't it? And Gazza, assure us, night follows day. We're looking forward to seeing you there, watching the Jose Mourinho era at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hey, listen, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Cheers.
Gazza.